Hit it.
Hey, what's going on, family? Listen, we back at it again. Me, the guy that sits in the back of back of the church and makes sure that nobody sneaks out early. I'm rocking it with my main man, Brandon. Man, we are Frankly Football, man, doing our Tuesday recap of the entire NFL. We're gonna go back as far as last Thursday's games, kind of give you our ins and outs on that. Go all the way up to Sunday games, man, and kind of prep for tonight's Monday night game. So we're going to start off with what, B? What we got going on first and foremost? We had a game between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So Chris, I always try to name these things like what did we learn about each of these teams, right? Because I think like, especially as you get in later in the season, these teams fall into the mold that they are. Like they are who they are at this point. And when you think about the Lions and the Packers, I think that this was kind of like the heroic game that Jordan Love needed, especially in a rivalry game, to sweep the Lions at that. I think that this kind of cements Green Bay as a team that is ready for the playoffs. Because for a while, you would have said that the Packers' weakness on their team would have been at the quarterback position. Jordan Love hasn't really been like a established starter for a long time. This is his second full year starting.
Okay.
So yeah, man, I think that this was the type of win. I described this win as heroic. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what he needed against a really good team. Now, when you think about the Lions, on the other hand, I think they got exposed in their secondary, Chris. I was looking at some of these throws that they were allowing against a team that I think doesn't really have like an established number one receiver. They got a bunch of really good like twos and things like that. Like Christian Watson is a really good probably number two. Matthew Golden is a rookie. He hasn't really gotten that many snaps yet. And then they're out. The Packers are out their number one guy in Tucker Kraft, and they still got exposed on the back end.
Well, I mean, I think it was basically two things that happened here. One, Jordan Love had time to throw, do what he did. He didn't have what's going on, big guy.
John in the chat, he's a Lions fan. That's one of my friends in real life. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
So, I mean, sorry about that loss y'all had to go through.
I mean, I think it was really just two divisional foes going against each other who kind of knew each other's ins and outs. Jordan Love had a good day. He went 18 for 30, 234 yards with the 4 touchdowns. No big mistakes, no interceptions. Really, really high pass rating. But I think it was more to the point of the pressure that the Packers defense could put on them. Micah Parsons, we passed the point of calling that man out his name. Had a really, really good day. Pressured them all through the first half. But they were just to the point where whenever the Lions made a mistake or, were inadequate with their offense, man, Jordan Love was finding, guys open. Wicks, Dante, I think it's what I don't want to. Dontavian. Yeah, I didn't want to mess his name up. Had a game, a couple of tuds. Probably one of his better days of the season. But I mean, it was kind of methodical, man. They just kind of kept it basic. Took from the Lions what they could take from them on a couple of touchdowns I saw them do. Man, it was just great patterns, great draw-ups by their head coach, and they handled their business, man. They went into a hostile environment on a short week and handed one of their rivals, a team that they needed to beat for two different reasons for the division, as well as for the conference for the playoffs, and had a really, really good game.
Yeah, and this was one of those games, Chris. Just talking about the Cowboys for half a second. We already covered the Cowboys versus the Chiefs in a whole other video. If you haven't, go ahead and click that.
No doubt.
But Chris, this was a game where we won regardless of who won, and that's I went in. I watched this game with those type of goggles on. Made me enjoy it either way.
Okay.
I was upset that we didn't have a stronger game from Jahmyr Gibbs. He's for me. I think that he's the best running back in the league. You know what I'm saying? So who's
yeah, because you were talking about another guy so who is the best running back in the league? Because in our last video you said another guy was best.
Oh well,
who is the best?
Like I said, he's my best running back in the league.
Oh, he's your best running back.
The guy who's probably performing the best this year, Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
Right. But yeah, man, I just expected more from Gibbs.
I mean, he had 20 rushes, 68 yards. I mean, he was the number one reason what the Lions were saying if we can stop him. They kind of treat Gibbs they gave him kind of the Marshall Faulk treatment.
Yeah,
When
as they
the
should
greatest show, yeah, the greatest show on turf was killing people. Marshall Faulk was the engine to that thing, and so they said, hey, if we can slow him down, contain him, and go from there. But what they really did, man, is they got after Jared Goff. They
Yep.
made Jared Goff feel antsy in the pocket. He ended up taking 3 sacks in this game. I mean, and still had a decent day, 20 to 26, 252 and 2 tuds. But it was just the consistent pressure, the consistent, making things difficult for him. And that's what, that we were looking for the Packers to come in and be able to do. And because they had familiarity with the Lions, they kind of said, hey, let's get after them. But it was a must win for both of these teams because both of them are trying to keep pace with another team we're going to talk about a little bit later who is really surprising a lot of people and kind of puts the onus on what our former defensive coordinator couldn't do. And they're playing really, really good football. But big win for the Packers on the road, hostile environment. Great opportunity for them to kind of try to build on that.
Absolutely. Moving on, Chris, to the late night game on Thanksgiving. Chris, the Bengals look like they're back now that Joe Burrow's back under center, man. That defense even looks serviceable.
I mean, but I think they did. I mean, they looked really, really good. Handling, the sixth loss of the season to one of the AFC championship teams, or to the Ravens, who we thought would be playing for the AFC championship. We kind of had in our mindset going into this year, you were going to look for the usual suspects: Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Kansas City Chiefs. But now they're at 6 losses. They're at 6-6 with the 12 win. They got 5 to go. So they're in like desperation mode, and it's going to be like that for the rest of the season for them. They're a different football team with Joe Cool, man. They are just a different football team, and he looked really, really good. The biggest problem that they've always had is keeping him upright. They did give up a sack, but he throws the ball in a zone that I can't stand. My thing is I don't want my quarterback going over 30, 35 passes a game. He threw the ball 46 times on Thursday night, and that's way too much, man. Too pass dependent, and that can bite you in the behind if you get to a lead and you can't sustain it with your running game.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I do think Chase Brown is like one of those complimentary guys. He probably is like a guy who would succeed in the system. Of course, they've had some Samaje Perine, for a while. After he left Washington, I think he went to them, and that's it. I think he had a year with the Chiefs too. Yes, the fact that they don't have like a dude, or at least like a full room of dudes. They got a bunch away from Joe.
Yeah, they don't have a bell cow. They have 2 complimentary guys in Brown and Perine. They still ran the ball for 30 times. The problem is, man, I think they.
But that's not the norm for them. We can acknowledge that that's not the norm. I wouldn't be surprised if, and I would have to do some research on this, if they don't run the ball probably 15 to 20 times a game on average.
Well, I mean, they ran the ball 30 times. Barely got over 100 yards in rushing, and they still got to find their guy. So great win for them. Way to pull that one out. Like I said, on the road. 2 road teams. Funny that 2 road teams got victories on a short week. That just goes to show you, man, how volatile this league is and how sometimes you get the ball to bounce your way. But, you got to let's look at why the Ravens are, it's kind of like, the Ravens is the issue because, 3 sacks of Lamar, which sometimes that could be in a running situation. You had the interception that he gave up.
Lamar didn't look good. Like we could just say how it is. Lamar didn't look good. And in a lot of ways, I think that he's still kind of hobbled. He doesn't look like his normal, agile self.
Yeah, I don't think he can get away from people as much, and that's when you got to really kind of switch this offense. I call it kind of backyardish because he makes the ridiculous plays out of a lot of broken down plays, and I think they got to get a little bit more systematic with the running game. Only having Derrick Henry run the ball 10 times is a crime, But that can be also shown to him.
And he was hot all game.
Yeah. I mean, he was at 6 yards a carry. So this is the times that you got to say, okay, hey, passing game is doing this. Let's kind of slow this thing down. Don't give the ball back to Joe Burrow in that offense and kind of maybe bleed some clock out and kind of lean on Derek a little bit more.
Yeah.
This is the time of year, man. Up north in those cold environments,
cold,
man, it's cold. It's cold, and you want to go ahead and start, really running the ball and limiting your passing.
I agree. I do think that you got Derrick Henry, man. You use him like he's Derrick Henry, especially if you know that your quarterback isn't all the way back yet. Sometimes you got to protect these players from themselves, and if they on the field, the best way to do that is with the scheme. Absolutely,
especially on a short week. You're on a short week.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get him. Get more than 10 touches.
Absolutely.
He is a volume running back. If he's not at 15 to 20, you can still really start seeing him impose his will on the defense, and that's something that they didn't do. But because they fell behind and they feel like they had to try to get back in it by throwing it, and that's one of those times where you can't abandon that part of your offense because Derek has the capability of taking one snap and going 60, 70 yards and changing the outcome of a game, and they really didn't get into that.
What I think was really the moment that took all of the air out of the Ravens' lungs was when Isaiah Likely lost that ball out of the back of the end zone.
Gotcha.
Turned it into a touchback. It's demoralizing because he was already having a pretty good day.
Yep.
But I'll call it a turnover, even though it wasn't technically on the stat sheet. That turnover, man, that was demoralizing because I think that would have put them back in the game.
Oh, without question. I mean, Lively had a great game. 5 catches, 95 yards on 6 targets. Yep. So he was going to work, man. And it was kind of doing what they want to do. But when you have that kind of mistake, and that's a turnover. I don't care how it is. It's a turnover. Now they get the ball back, and the Bengals do what they do, and they went down the field and scored. So, or it was just like it just shifted the momentum. It shifted Absolutely. The momentum in the game 100%. And went forward from there. So,
100%, especially when you have a team like the Bengals who historically haven't really had like the strongest defense.
Absolutely.
They see, okay, we taking the ball away, we getting to the quarterback. Man, that charged the whole team up.
Man. And that's how you end up with that situation. But you got two, like you said, you got two teams kind of trending, and that was a game that you can't lose. There were 3 and 6 football team. You get more loss, you totally demoralize the season and go forward. Now you're at 6-6, and now you're in you're in pretty much catch up mode rest of the way. Yeah, and the chances you making the playoffs really dissipated with that loss. T.I. word for the day, and we're just now sitting here saying, okay, how that's going to play out. So our guys going to turn around and they're going to play it on out, or they're going to kind of start making business decisions. So that's the problem they're going to have in Baltimore for the next couple of weeks.
That's true. Moving on to Friday, Chris, you had the Bears beating the Eagles 24-15.
Wow. Yeah. This is a surprise, man. This is one of the most surprising teams. What a turnaround for them, man. The Bears are 9-3. They lead the NFC Central, a really tough division that we thought was going to make a lot of NFC, not Central, NFC North.
You showed your age.
Yeah, I showed it big time. If the grade didn't tell you, that definitely told you. But yeah, man, that was a huge. But this is the first time the Bears have been in this position. I think the Bears are right now one of the hottest teams in football.
They're the number 1 seed in the NFC, Chris.
Wow, who would have thought that, man, after last year? All the questions behind Caleb Williams, all the questions about the defense, on the firing of their coach. They get the right coach in, start putting some things, all the stuff in the offseason about how Caleb Williams wasn't picking up the offense and things of that nature. Man, they need to take your philosophy, bro. I have to honestly say that they don't need to judge him. They just need to let him get here and play. Well, he's gotten here and he's playing, man. I mean, he had an amazing game, 17-36. Here's the crazy part about it. It wasn't a huge statistical game from the passing game, but man, they ran the ball down. They ran the ball down the Bears, down the Eagles' gullet.
Did you know, Chris, that this was the first time since 1985 that the Bears have had 2 rushers in the same game for over 100 yards?
Let me explain something to you. For a team to have 2 guys go over 100, and I'm not talking about barely squeak over 100. Yeah. You had one guy in Kyle Monangai.
130 and 125.
Bruh, Kyle Monangai, who is a rookie, which you don't judge, but I had an opportunity to see him firsthand twice for the last couple of years. Hard runner, getting his feet, or kind of just getting to his mode in the NFL, and he's a perfect complement to DeAndre Swift. He's a power back. He's going to hit you. He's going to keep coming at you. 5.9 a chuck, and then you had the speed and the looseness of DeAndre of Swift, and it turned around 18 to 112. Man, that is a perfect recipe. This is a perfect recipe in this time of the year when you're going to be trying to get downhill on people. He definitely did it, man. Great win for the Bears.
Yeah, and like you said, they didn't beat him up in the air. Caleb only had really an average day, but it's the fact that you got both of your runners just punishing the team and breaking their will. Man, that's in a winter game in Philly. You know that's how you really want to do it. But Chris, what I really want to talk about is this Eagles collapse over the last few weeks.
I mean, this is what they do, man. They've done this. This is not something they haven't done before. You know, they've had these late season swoons where they go on a tear of losing 4, 5, 6 games in a row, and they're halfway there, man. And that breeds, you know, finger pointing. Hey, who's at fault? Or why is this? Oh, we shouldn't have let this guy go. And man, I don't like to laugh at people's demise. I just laugh at the Eagles' demise. Yeah. And they've gotten, you know, they kind of had a victory lap early, saying that the NFC East was done. They would just go ahead and crown them as champions. And they've kind of fallen back to the pack. So, you know, they do have a 3 game lead in the division.
1.5.
Okay. That tie always gets me. Okay, 1.5. You know, but they got some tough games ahead of them, and we'll see how it plays out.
Saquon Barkley is really proving what has been historically the case with running backs. The following year after they get all of those carries, guys can't do it. Their body hasn't fully recovered yet. Saquon Barkley ain't really having a great year, Chris. So when you couple that with the offense that really is just trying to not really put it in the hands of Jalen Hurts, I mean, and you know, I don't really try to put all of the blame on the coach, but Kevin Patullo also isn't doing a great job with his offensive coordinating. You know, as a whole, that team is struggling, and a lot of that struggling has been covered up just by winning.
I mean, but winning is the cologne that covers all that stuff up. So, you know, hey, man, it is how it is, man. It is how it is, man. But, you know, the thing about it is that they're going to shift the blame from Jalen. And this is one of the fan bases that will always cover a guy, you know, because the guy, you know, guys had some Super Bowl appearances and is a Super Bowl MVP. But he is playing bad. But the thing about it, they're going to say, well, A.J. Brown was crying for the ball. He's getting his numbers. But they're not winning. So I just want them to continue to have the infighting of them getting mad with their quarterback and hating their quarterback and hating the offensive coordinator and all these other different things. I need that turmoil to keep brewing so I can get the outcome I want. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to take anything from the Bears because the goal is you stop the run so you have the opportunity to rush the passer. They are not stopping the run.
Yeah, they didn't stop the run at all. They had a red carpet out.
Hey, man, they had nice red carpet.
It's really interesting, though. Philly is a team that has been, touted as having an extremely good defensive line for a year and some change now. But for them to get beat up like that, to get beat up via their strength, that had to be demoralizing.
Oh, man, it rocked everything because you would not expect them to give up 250 yards, 260 yards on the ground like that, and make it to the point that you kept the ball kept it out of Caleb's hands, that he might try to do something, play a little hero ball and try to make sure that he was able to get the ball to his tight end, get Cole Kmet working, got Luther Burton, got him the ball. I mean, they didn't even really exploit, where you to the point where your strength is with Cooper DeJean and things of that nature, and having guys on the outside. They just worked the middle of the field, ran the football, kept it short and manageable, second and manageable, third and manageable, and really just beat them up.
Yeah,
just really beat them up all game.
Yeah, for sure, man. They got some things to figure out because I mean they got two more games that they can really afford to lose before things get a little sticky.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, Chris, the Dolphins beat the Saints 17-21. Now the Dolphins haven't really been seen as like a team that is has been like on like any sort of run this year, but they quietly got a little win streak going.
I mean, listen, they played against a team with a rookie quarterback who you don't judge,
Yep.
but the New Orleans didn't really put up much of a fight in the first half. Falling down. It was 16-0 at halftime. So when you start doing that, I think what the Dolphins basically tried to do was just try to preserve the win, get up out of there by any means necessary, putting up 21 points. Kind of got lucky with the safety situation in the fourth quarter. They kind of put it out of reach, and damn near, if it hadn't been for the onside kick that was touched early by the Saints, we don't know how this game would have turned out. But they preserved the win and got up out of there.
Yeah, for sure. I think that the Dolphins, they got problems, Chris. Between all, like you said, once the losses started piling with all the blames going on, whether it's coaching or quarterback issues and questions that they got, I think that this isn't going to excuse anybody. Like, I still think that Mike McDaniel's probably gone after this season.
Absolutely.
I think that they're probably going to question some things about Tua and his future there after this.
They've always had those questions. If it wasn't for his health, it's for his efficiency of running the offense. But I think with Devin Achane running the football way he is, you're going to have to kind of switch some things. You're going to have to go from the wide open passing game to kind of giving the ball to him and letting him do the things that he does with it. I mean, 6 yards a carry. You can't argue with that.
Absolutely. Isn't it strange though that, well, what will make you question it, let me word it that way, is that the Dolphins generally don't keep a running back beyond 3 years. So while they do got Achane, who is electric, I mean, just looking at the trends, he might be even on borrowed time. They were thinking about trading him before the trade deadline.
I mean, they could have, but I mean, he's kind of like right now the best player on their offense. Yeah. So trading him away, what do you get for him? And him showing the ability to carry the ball 20, 22, 25 times a game is a huge uptick for them. But I just think this offense has got to switch over these last 5 to 7 games to get them to where they want to be able to get to, and then start trying to build for the future.
Yeah, I agree. The Saints, on the other hand, Chris, I think that obviously they're eliminated from playoff contention, but they have so many holes that they have to fill to be a competitive team. The players that are there, I'm sure that they want to go somewhere and try to have some level of success in their career. You know what I'm saying? You got your Alvin Kamara, who's been there his whole career, and he's on the other side of 30 now. You got all of these guys. I feel bad for the Saints, Chris. I
mean, listen, it's a first-year coach in Kellen Moore. He's trying to figure out got the rookie quarterback. Had Spencer Rattler, went away from Spencer, went to Tyler Shough, and Shough is trying to do the very best he can. I mean, like I said, 26 of 38, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns, had a pick, but gave up 4 sacks, and then but the interception was so crucial. Because it got returned for a touchdown. It was just, returned for 2. It wasn't a safety. It was the interception by Minkah Fitzpatrick. I said a safety earlier. I'm sorry.
It wasn't a safety. It was a safety.
No, it was a 2-point. It was an interception off a 2-point conversion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had scored. What they were trying to do was score, and go for the 2 point to try to draw it closer. Minkah makes the interception, runs it all the way back and gets 2 points. Then they turn ahead the situation with the onside kick where they kick the ball there. If the player lets it go 10 yards, he gets it, but he touched it like at 8.5, 9 yards. You know what I'm saying? And it was like the Dolphins were trying to trick that game off. They were to the point, okay, hey, we got the 2 point conversion, fine. The Saints go for the onside kick, and nobody from the Dolphins attacks the football.
And that was so horrible.
Crazy. Crazy.
The guy jumped out of the way of the ball, Chris. When I watched that,
threw his hands up. I don't want to touch it. Wait a minute, hold on, you do want to touch it.
And then it went beyond 10 yards, so the Saints can just pile on it at that point.
But that's what I'm saying. If the player just shields the ball and lets it go 10 yards, they get the ball back.
Fall on it.
Well, no. What happened? He caught it. What I'm saying is the Dolphins. They say, I don't want to touch it. The guy said, "Oh, I'm in position." But if he'd have just let it go another bounce over and be 10 yards over before he touched it,
yeah,
it would have been Saints ball. So it was like the Keystone Cops. I don't want to win. Hey, do you want to win? And then it was just a misfortunate touch by the Saints player that caused that to happen.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think that was ridiculous, man. I'm still kind of just chilling on the fact that the Dolphins player didn't fall on the ball, man. You are in the front. You are in the hands team.
If you know that it's an onside kick, you can touch it at any given point. You can run up and go get the ball if you want to, because it's your chance to get the ball. But for them to just, I don't want it, and the guy almost got it, is really just symptomatic of what the Dolphins have been doing all year. We want to win, but we really don't want to win. And if you give us the win, we'll take the win. But we ain't gonna fight you for it.
The Saints are draft bound, Chris.
I mean, I think both of them are draft bound. Yeah. So it was kind of like one of those, okay, hey, if we win, it's okay. But a lot of these guys are not going to be in the equation for the Dolphins going forward.
For sure, Chris. So moving on. You had what is the best way to say this? I'm not sure if you can call this an upset. The Texans beat up on the Colts, and it was a close game, one-score game, 20-16. I'm not sure if I would call it an upset because the Texans are still kind of viewed as a good team, Yeah,
but
you kind of have where if teams put all of their effort into making sure that Jonathan Taylor doesn't go insane, then the Colts have beat him.
Listen, man, they are 1-3 in games where Jonathan Taylor does not score a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's their record. So it's it's what we've always said. Let Daniel Jones try to beat us. Yep. And once again, he was Daniel Jones. I mean, he didn't have a bad day statistically. No. 14-27, 201 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, took a sack, but he's limited on what he can do.
I don't think that Daniel Jones can ever be like the hero on a team.
Oh, he's not. He is not a force multiplier in any shape, form, or manner. He will manage the game. He'll get the ball to people when they need to get it. Yep. But he's not going to be to the point where he can sit back there and just, dot you up and make you wonder what's going on. The Texans did what everybody else is saying. Listen, stop Jonathan Taylor, make Daniel Jones beat us, and I think we got enough offense to get past him and beat him. The score isn't indicative of how the Texans really just dominated this football game.
Absolutely, and that's a TI word of the day, indicative.
Yeah.
Chris, the Colts have lost 3 games in 4 weeks, and then they got the Jags coming up. They play the Jags twice over the next 5 weeks.
Hey,
man, their wild card hopes could be looking a little shaky from a team that was at once looked at as like the team to beat in the AFC, and right now they are the team to beat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but you got the blueprint on them. You got the blueprint on them, and it's for them to not be able to adjust over the past month, dude. That's troubling.
I mean, listen, you got a hot start. You got some games underneath your belt where you're like, hey, we got to finish out strong. But now this is my season, bro. This is where football becomes, what you do well and how you can build on what you've been doing well has to come around. So They were to the point first 2 months of the seasons. Hey, give it to Jonathan Taylor, let him go crazy. Now people are like, hey, let's put 8 in the box. Let's lock that up. Let's try to limit Jonathan Taylor and what he does and make Daniel Jones use Pierce, Downs, and those wide receivers to beat us. And they haven't been able to do that in the last month.
Yeah, you're right. And one thing that also didn't help them is early in the game, Sauce Gardner went out. Now, thankfully, it wasn't an Achilles because it looked like an Achilles.
Right.
He looked back, thought somebody kicked him. At that point, I was like, oh, yeah, he's done.
He's
calf strain, though. But those can be very painful. So it's a week-to-week thing with him. I think that they're going to need him. because they probably going to have to rely on a little bit more on their defense if they want to try to make a run. Because I think that they made the trade with the thought that they were like a team that can make a run. They put all of their eggs in the basket of this year.
Yep. I mean, they did well. I mean, but this is my problem. Jonathan Taylor has 21 rushes, right? You don't have any kind of help, a 1-2 punch, anything outside of that. And so that's what's really limiting on what they can do. You know, and this is, you know, they've got one of those hot shot young, you know, quote unquote young coaches, offensive kind of mindset, and he's kind of like looking at the play sheet and said, "Well, if 21 ain't doing it, what we gonna do?"
It's a little funny, but they didn't. I don't think that they really believed in Adonai Mitchell, but ever since they traded him, Chris,
hey, doesn't look like things are going their way at all.
Yeah, absolutely,
not at all. Yep.
Moving on, you know, as we get through the 1 o'clock slate, the Jets got to win.
Hey,
the Jets beat up on the Falcons. It was a close game, 27-24. Man, Chris, I thought that the Falcons would have been one of those teams that was like a quarterback away because they put so much effort into solidifying their defense.
Yeah.
But dog, they got problems.
I mean, but their quarterback went down. When Penix went down, you had to go back to old money at the bank, you know, MVP at the bank, Kirk Cousins.
Look.
Hey man. Hi, Mr. Cousins, when he comes to the bank, you know. That's how it is. But you know, I'm as much as we want to talk about you know, the Falcons faltering, it was more to the point of that hokey legend, Tyrod Taylor, you know, another guru at the bank, you know, doing his thing, but stepping in, man, and just willing the Jets to a win, getting the ball out to people, man, making big time throws, him playing, you know, inspired football. And it's just always makes me proud when I see Tyrod have a great game, because he's kind of like the guy who never really ever got a chance, and he was kind of like the incumbent.
He got a chance. They just took it from him.
No, I think every time, if you go back and look at his career, man, he'll be somewhere. He'll be that guy that's the guy that's trying to be in the place of the guy that they've already drafted, and he never gets that opportunity. They try to
the Chargers. You're describing the Chargers.
No, I'm talking. Well, the Chargers tried to puncture the man lung, but he gonna eat off. Yeah.
That's the reason why they had to come up all them dollars, and why he won't retire until he's forced to.
Hey, bro, he's not retired, and he'll forever get a check, man. I'm down for that. So the thing with the Chargers, but he also had the same thing happen to him in Buffalo, and then he turned around and came and did it, you know, here at the Jets when he was going to be the starter. And hey, we gonna bring in one of my favorite, you know, Justin Fields, because we don't do his whole name. Hey, bro. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing it. He's still one of my favorites, but it is what it is. You know, but you know, he just did the things necessary to win this football game. Classic Tyrod, man. Went out there 19 for 33, 172 yards, had a tud, got sacked a couple times, but he also had another 44 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Just willing the Jets to a win, and really puts the Falcons in a funny spot. They're 4-8. They spent all their capital on their defense this year and getting that pass rush a certain kind of way. That hasn't come around for them, and you're kind of wasting away, you know, Bijan Robinson's rookie deal.
Yeah, I mean, they already did that with Kyle Pitts.
Man.
So Chris, I think that the Jets have somewhat of a framework on offense. Like I feel like, you know, they traded for Adonai Mitchell, who's a good number 2 receiver.
Yes.
I was a big fan of John Mechie coming out of college.
Absolutely.
Cancer took away a lot from him.
Yes.
And now he's 3 years removed from surviving and beating cancer, right?
Yeah.
So now I think that he finally got a lot of his body mass back.
Yeah.
So that'll allow him to play his type of game.
So with Garrett Wilson on the outside,
absolutely. I think they got a good receiver room. They also got a good running back room. Breece Hall is still there, and then they got one of the guys that I love, Braylon Allen. So they have weapons on offense. They just missing the quarterback. And I do think that they gutted their defense at this point. So they kind of got to rebuild that. But dude, on offense, man, if the Jets get a quarterback, I wouldn't be upset at the situation that he's coming into.
I mean, I really don't think I need a quarterback because I can finally, use Tyrod because Tyrod's going to
But
do certain
Tyrod
things.
36.
Hey, man, Tyrod got at least another good year in him. I'm
Mhm.
hoping you can draft a guy. You don't have to go out in this draft.
Mhm.
You could go get a quarterback.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is that you want to bring that guy in easy. So I think they do have the draft. They have the draft capital to
Mhm.
go ahead and get that quarterback and kind of have him in waiting, and then continue to try to fill that defense out again because they got a lot of holes on defense that they got to replace. So I'm just glad that they're going to give they're going to kind of work with the first year coach, give him an opportunity to build this thing around it and go forward. So hey, man, I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening with them. But just a great win for them. To drop them and then also make it to the point where you got another team that's kind of in purgatory with the Falcons because they're not going to go draft a quarterback, but they're going to want to go get certain pieces. And the way they're trending, I just need something to happen that they say, hey, Michael Penix is going to be out longer, and you need to go get a quarterback, which pushes one of those good players I want down the draft board. But we ain't got to talk about the draft right now.
Yeah.
But I am forecasting some people that I definitely want on my football team.
Okay. I'll listen to that a little later.
Yeah.
I don't know how the 49ers keep doing it, Chris. They keep looking like a very, very good team. And granted, it's the Browns. Don't get me wrong, right? But
right,
like you'll just have random times where Brock Purdy either A looks like the guy that he did for those 2 years when he was really balling, or B completely regresses. And they win regardless because they got that man Christian McCaffrey.
Right. So I think in that situation, that game kind of reminds me of a game that we saw a couple of weeks ago when the Cowboys played the Raiders. Like they're a bad football team. They're really, really good on defense. Their offense is pedestrian to say the least. You got a rookie quarterback in his second start, and you can start throwing some different things at him because he's not really sure about certain things that's going on, but they just keep doing the things necessary to stack wins. And that's what we saw on Sunday. They turned around and put pieces together and just didn't lose the football game. Made the Browns do certain things that they knew they couldn't do and just kept them out of arm's reach, knowing they weren't going to be a threat on offense.
Yeah. The Browns do got their own struggles, with like Shador and stuff like that. He is just starting, in his second week of getting those first team reps. And then just the struggles that come with being a rookie.
Yeah, I mean, he struggled. I mean, the thing about it is that as a rookie, the formula for a rookie to me, for him to be successful early in his career, is to have a good running game, which they do have in Junkins. Junkins went for 23 rushes, 91 yards. Very, very serviceable, and then just getting the ball out to certain people. But when you have people dropping passes and feeling like they have the right to question the guy outright and be solely
talking about
hey, come on, man.
That wasn't a good look, man. That wasn't a good look. Even if you feel that way, man, you don't do that on the sideline.
My thing. I don't know if we froze up or can you see me though?
I can hear you. Yeah,
okay, cool. That. I didn't like the look of that because my thing is when they had the Hawaiian leprechaun playing, you ain't see him jumping around and putting him out there. He was cool. When they were dealing with one of the oldest quarterbacks in the NFL right now, you talked about Tyrod being 36. Joe Flacco got to be every bit of 46. I
think he's 40. I think he's 40 or 41.
He looked older than that. And you didn't see him getting animated with him. So, I love movies. You know that. I'm a big movie guy. And one of my favorite movies of all time is Remember the Titans. And when they had the conversation with my man Bertier, and my man said, "Hey, attitude reflects leadership." Yeah. When your head coach is adamantly has gone out and said he don't care about his quarterback or not giving him any kind of respect, that gives it the trickle down effect that the other players around there cannot give him respect. And so Jerry Jeudy's wants to be a number one. Jerry Jeudy is one of the best route running guys I ever saw in college. He is not the best. And, and if you want, and Peter Walker to me was the best route running guy ever in college football when I saw for a long, long time. But Jerry Jeudy was a great route runner. And for him to get out there and be so adamant and just try to show the quarterback up is crazy. And it just wasn't a good look, especially when Sedora's over there talking to his guys, going over the pad and saying, hey, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm trying. He's trying to do this on the fly. And you got this guy over here just, degrading him and trying to embarrass him in front of the team. Just not a good look, man.
Not in the public. Do that in the locker room.
Yeah, man, do that. Hey, say, hey, man, listen, this is what I saw, and try to build him so that we can get on the same page. But he made it a point to try to embarrass him. I didn't like that look. But it's hard to be successful in Cleveland. It's hard for a quarterback to be successful in Cleveland. We got the litany of that going down the line. But just a bad look for them. Hopefully they can right the ship, probably get some cohesiveness with the football team and be able to try to finish out these last couple of games so they can move into next year with everything they got. Defensively, they're amazing. But no defense can get out there and play 75, 85 snaps, man, without any help from the offense.
For sure, man. For sure. I don't even know how I begin to fix Cleveland. I think that they're a franchise that has systemic issues from the top going down, man. They got to figure that out though. But Chris, moving on. This is the 4:00 slate. The Rams got beaten upset fashion to the Panthers.
Listen, man, you said this to me before, and when it happened, I was like, the Panthers. We tried to label the Panthers as being pesky.
Yeah,
that's what we said. Those pesky Panthers, right? Yeah. Well, man, they starting to look more than pesky, man. They looking like to be a problem. They're 7-6. They're starting to get things figured out. You've gotten the young, how can I say it? You've gotten Bryce Young. I'm not even gonna say diminutive because Bryce Young has been this size his whole life. Yeah, and he's still an NFL quarterback, and he's doing his thing, man. You got him some pieces. And they're starting to trust him to do certain things, man. He went and dueled probably one of the hottest teams in football. We thought, we looked at it. We were looking like the Rams were really tough. Yep. The Lions are really tough. And they got him there in Charlotte, in the Queen City, man, on that wet field out there. And it even though the score said 28-31, they battled every time. Every time the Rams would answer, they would answer back, man. And it's a great showing, man. Bryce Young went on Sunday, 15-20, very efficient day, 200 and 206 yards, 3 tuds. Yep. He got Tack involved. He got Chuba Hubbard out the backfield involved. Got Jalen, I think it's Jalen Coker. Is that his name?
Yeah, Jalen Coker.
Yeah, he got Jalen Coker into it. So man, it's the classic situation. Get a guy some pieces and let's see what he does.
But at the same time, though, Chris, Bryce will have this sort of game every 3, maybe 4 games, and then you'll have games like last week where he looked like the Bryce Young that we were used to for the last 2.5 years, right?
Right.
And so that's the one thing that troubles me about him because, you can't necessarily pay a guy that huge money off of a year. You can't do that. Not a guy that started since day one.
Yeah, but he started day one, and correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't he the first pick in the draft of that year?
Yeah.
So
over CJ Stroud.
Okay, so when you're the first pick in the draft, your team probably is pretty bad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they don't fall into really, really good situations, correct? Right, so you have to give them a chance to maturate and put pieces around them, and that's what they've done. The thing that gets me with the Panthers is that even when Rico went down, man, not down, but it's kind of, how can I say this? Rico was always worried about being injured guy, but I think they're kind of starting to figure it out. But they're kind of getting, maybe having little, weary legs because
they got to spell him for a little bit.
Yeah, they got some, but they got a good 1-2 punch with him and Chuba Hubbard, and went from there.
Yeah, we got Fred. We got Fred in the chat.
Fred, what's up, homie?
Very impressed with Carolina's run game, and their play calling. This was a game to be proud of that. Immediately after Matt Stafford broke the record with 28 touchdowns in a row without a pick. He threw 2 picks. One of them was a pick 6.
And that's what I'm saying. And a lot of times, man, the Panthers defense was just really in pocket. I mean, you had to have some amazing plays by Puka Nacua. Man, a great one-form catch.
One of the catches of the year. It was like a reverse hand, one hand.
Yeah, he did a great job with that. But the thing about it is that I think Joe Horn Jr. I think it's Joe Horn Jr. was right. Yeah, J.C. Horn, my fault. Joe Horn Jr. is the wide receiver, but he's on that team though. But yeah, he was right in phase, right there with him. But I mean, that defense is formidable, man.
Yeah,
that defense.
Joe is in the chat. Good to see you here, Joe.
What's up, Joe, man? Yeah, they got a really good defense. Whenever you get pressure the way they can with 4 and things of that nature, man, they make it tough. But even in that sense, the Rams were such a good football team that thing was nip and tuck all the way. It wasn't ever to the point where the Panthers were just so far ahead and dominating that they didn't have to worry about them. That's why the Rams are going to be an absolute tough out, whomever they play when they get into the playoffs, if they continue to go the way they're going.
I agree, but I also think that you can't give the game away. Like Stafford had one of his worst games of the year. He gave the game away.
Yeah,
like that first pick, the one that was a pick 6, man. The defender jumped that route. He should have saw the guy lurking.
I mean, you got to be able to win the turnover battle. You can't. He had 2 touchdowns. He had 2 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown. So that's another touchdown for the team. And then had 2 costly sacks. So it really, but it was one of the most entertaining games of the Sunday slate. Definitely
for sure. Like upset is always good to watch. I agree.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's what makes the Panthers so pesky.
Mm-hmm. That was a word that we used to describe them. I think it's very appropriate.
It's fitting. It's fitting for them.
Yeah. Chris, the Titans are not a good football team. The Jacksonville Jaguars came into Nashville, beat them 25-3. Cam Ward, this was like 5-6 weeks ago now, called them trash. Sucks to hear your starting quarterback say that, but man.
No, he didn't call them trash. He called them ass. That's what he called them. Yeah, he called them that. Yeah. It's a Christmas season.
Yeah, there we go. I think that I understand that they playing from behind a lot, right?
Right.
But putting the ball in the hand of your rookie quarterback when your team is already struggling 38 times,
yeah,
is that a key for success?
Well, evidently not, because they won in 11, so it's trending to the point that's not. But if he's the best thing that they have, or possibly the best thing they have, they're not doing him any favors. They're not giving him any easy buttons. They got Tony Pollard rushing the ball 10 times, 60 yards. They're not doing anything in particularly well on offense.
Not really giving the ball to Tajay Spears.
Yeah, they're just not. It's just a bad recipe for them, man, and they don't have a lot of weapons that make you have to worry about them on the outside. So you can kind of close the box up. Cam is used to kind of maybe holding on the ball a little bit longer than more to make the dynamic play. That's kind of the schooling that they come from. You see Shedeur do that a lot. Yep. When he plays, excuse me. So Cam's struggling. 24 for 38, 141 yards. 3 sacks, man. I think he's probably leading the league or in the top 5 for being sacked. So they got a lot of questions they got to answer over there in Tennessee, which bodes well for me because they're going to take another good offensive lineman or something. They're not going to go get anybody defensively, which helps me with the draft and what I want to see happen. But they're just a team with, like you said before, with a lot of holes. And probably not enough ammunition to go get pieces to fix it.
Yeah, they're definitely eyeing a top 3 pick in the draft. They one of those teams, they might already be there, setting up their green room.
Dude, they've been in the draft room since week 3.
yeah, for sure. One thing I noticed this weeks ago, Chris, Cam Ward's rookie season is looking a lot like Will Levis.
So if his rookie season is looking like what Will Levis is looking at, then that means they still got a lot more work to do to help that team be just competitive. Not talking about winning the championship. Just get competitive.
Yeah. But just like Joe said, they're talent poor.
They are. They're definitely talent poor. I just had a little. I had a chance to chuckle a little bit during that game. Bashaw Chutin, who y'all all know that I love and I thought should have been a Cowboy. And if he'd been a Cowboy, we'd probably be in a whole lot of a better situation. On his score and the touchdown, he did the little famous, wave back at the Tennessee Titans sideline, getting back at Cam. Because when we was in college, Cam wanted to do that when he played Tech all the time. And he just would get a little payback on that, So, it's personal. It was personal for him. But let's talk about the Jaguars, man. Let's talk about the team that's on the uprise.
They're trying to be. They're trying to be.
And man, they're 8-4 right now in a competitive AFC South. They got a chance to maybe kick back in and things break their way, maybe catch the Colts. Like you said, they got to play them twice, kind of got the recipe to know what they got to do to go against them. So they're trending in the right direction. This AFC thing has kind of got some people that we're not used to talking about on that side going in towards this back half of the season that have a chance to solidify their playoff spot by playing a certain particular way. So they're moving to the point where they're going to fight Indianapolis for that division and definitely a wild card spot.
Yeah, and the Jag, like you said, the Jags are another team that are on the rise. You got to remember, a few weeks ago they were 4-3. Now they're 8-4. So
see what I'm saying?
They on a little bit of a run.
They definitely on a run. They're definitely on a run.
Moving on though, Chris. The Bucks, they had a much closer game than what I thought they would. I'm not sure if it's because Baker's shoulder's still injured, but the Bucks have been kind of cool. They cooled down over the last few weeks.
Yes, they have.
From a team that, in my opinion, had the Rookie of the Year, Emeka Egbuka, over the last 3, maybe 4 weeks, man, he hasn't been that same player that started off the season.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is that with any wide receiver, they're in a ball-dependent type situation based on the quarterback. So with Baker being injured, and they haven't really run the ball well, man.
That's because Bucky Irvin was hurt. This is his first game back, and I want to say 6 weeks.
Okay, so he had a good outing, 17 carries, 61 yards, touchdown. So I think if you start getting him back in, running the football, being that threat he is, he helps to balance out the team, balance out the offense. And if he can balance out the offense, then you got a chance for them to get Emeka back into doing what he was doing in the first half of the season.
I hope so. I hope so, because Chris Godwin was their leading receiver, but you can't rely on his health.
Nah, not at all.
Chris Godwin's already missed time on 2 different occasions this year.
Right. So so now you got your injured quarterback. Yep. People kind of doubling Emeka, and so now it's just they're going to have to switch gears and get back into the running game so they can get some balance and maybe start getting back to their winning ways. But they're 7-5, and a tough game against Arizona, man. And Jacoby Brissett, 29 of 40, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. A good showing statistically. Just not having, the key plays here or there to pull that victory out against Tampa on their home field.
That's true. I think that by the Cardinals choosing not to play Kyler this week, they decided that they were just going to sit him down for an additional week. I think that they might be on their way out from him.
Oh,
that may be kind of difficult given the breadth of that contract. But yeah, I think they might be done with Kyler.
I mean, they might be done with Kyler. The way their record stands, there may be a quarterback there they can take. And man, listen, we watched the team tell Russell Wilson to go away and like $80 million. I don't know what the dead cap hit is for Kyler Murray. I don't think it's $80 million.
Possibly not. Possibly not.
I mean, and if that's the case, man, if they want to go in a different direction, they kind of didn't like giving them that money. They put that stipulation in his contract about him not gaming as much. And bro, being itty bitty and fast only lasts for a little while when they realize we just got to keep him in the well and make him throw behind guys that he can't see over.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I'm not sure if it might be a situation where they have to release him because I'm not sure if another team will willingly take on that contract.
Nah, ain't nobody taking that dude on, man. Dude, him and KaVontae Turpin I think he's smaller than KaVontae, bro.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
Or either they right there. Chris, the Seahawks are looking like a really good football team. They pitched a shutout versus the Vikings in their building. 26.
Man, listen, but the Vikings didn't even have a real quarterback playing, man.
Nope.
The Bozeman kid, man, I think this was his first time. Dude, man, listen. They pitched a shutout. The shutout's a shutout. These are all NFL players. They're far more talented than me and you combined. So, but Bozeman didn't give them a fighting chance to do certain things. And you could see the frustration on the Vikings players' behalf of how my man was playing.
Chris Joe said the Vikings got an NPC at quarterback.
Hey, man.
He was just there.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, they and I don't know what the deal is with the Vikings. They can't get, 4 or 5 games from J.J. McCarthy, man. He's consistently been hurt, injured, can't play. And now that, they're now to the point of having this guy, and it was kind of like a redemption, for Sam Darnold to turn around and go play for the team that let him go because they had J.J. McCarthy.
Whoop him, Chris.
Dude, I think Bozeman had like 4 interceptions. Didn't he have 4 interceptions in this game?
Yep, and was sacked 4 times.
Yeah, man. The problem is, man, that I had a problem with Bozeman, man. He out here making DeMarcus Lawrence look like, he a Pro Bowler.
One of the dumbest sacks. One of the dumbest interceptions in my opinion.
Ever.
He was going down. Down and just tossed the ball. It looked like he was just giving it to the guy. It was a long handoff.
Dude, it was terrible, and so that's like I said, man. The guy had 4 interceptions, man.
Yep.
You can't beat anybody throwing the ball like that. 19 to 30, 126, just terrible, man. And you can just see the frustration on the wide receivers' faces all over. If it's Justin Jefferson, 2 catches, 4 yards. Come on, man. You can't beat anybody like that. So the Vikings are trending in the perfect direction. I want them to be trending because don't I have to play them?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's kind of shaking out a certain kind of way for the Cowboys. We don't want to talk about their situation. We're just talking about the league. But the way the league played on Sunday, things are kind of looking like this might be falling into place for the Cowboys that had kind of run you wanted to have.
Yeah. That picture's getting a little clearer. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, it ain't foggy, man. You ain't got to wipe off your camera lens, man. It's getting kind of crystal clear. So, 26-0. There's a lot to come from, so what's the deal with J.J. McCarthy? Is he out for 2-3 weeks? What's the deal?
Yeah, he's out. He's out for a little bit while longer.
Good,
but repeated injuries. Missing this whole rookie season with an ACL. I consider this his rookie playing season.
Right.
Missing an extended period of time once and then getting hurt for maybe a shorter period of time just now. Man, I hate to label a hurt guy in his second year in the league.
Well, he's not since he's still a rookie, you can't judge him. We're just gonna end up saying right now JJ's having a problem staying healthy. Let's do it that way.
Absolutely.
That's all we can say. We're not gonna pencil him as hurt guy. I just need to be hurt for at least another couple more weeks so that when we play him,
so we can light Max Brosmer up too.
Hey man, I need Max to go ahead and be Max, man. So keep maxing, baby. Keep being maximizing what you do, Max. You know what I'm saying? And helping us get to where we're trying to get to.
I'm actually surprised that the Vikings didn't decide to run the ball more. They got 2 decent names at running back. I'm not gonna say if they're like the answer at the position yet, but Aaron Jones he's had stretches this year where he's been very good. Jordan Mason has had stretches where he's been okay with the Vikings. Right. I'm surprised that they didn't put the ball in those guys' hands more often.
It's hard to sustain offense when you're turning point, you're playing 2nd and 12, 3rd and 8, and being able to run the football. I mean, they had a total, a whopping total of 15, 16 carries for rushing. So, Max couldn't keep enough offense going for you to get the running game going. Yeah. That makes sense? Yeah. So, I mean, it was a horrible outing for them, but they're going to have to figure out something because they got another one of those great, young offensive-minded guys, but doing simple things by making, simple connections. For Justin Jefferson to have 2 catches and 2 yards, man, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's a rough one. That's a rough one. Yeah. But I mean that comes with having 2 quarterbacks that are injured. Carson Wentz's shoulder separated. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man. Now we can label Carson what he is. Carson stays hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt. He's hurt.
He's definitely hurt guy. So just a sad outing for them. But Seattle keeps moving in the right direction. 9-3, keeping the pressure on the 49ers. Keeping the pressure on the Rams. And gonna be a tough out, man. Come playoff time.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, what I learned about the Steelers in their game, man, they're just not a good football team. You allowed the most rushing yards in I think Steelers history. They allowed the Bills to have almost 250 yards rushing.
But what ended up happening though in that game, you're right, they did. But this was a tight football game going into the 3rd quarter. It was 7-3 at halftime. It wasn't like this was like the Bills were playing lights out and they were so much more dominant. They just turned around and they was opportunistic out the gate. I think was it a pick 6 or a fumble or something early in the 3rd quarter. It was
an interception, but they didn't sack Josh Allen at all, Chris. They got a QB hit one time the entire game. A defense with TJ Watt had 1 quarterback hit the entire game, 0 sacks.
But dude, they ran the ball over 40 times. So how are you going to hit them if they're running the ball for 40 times? I mean, James Cook ended up having 32 rushes, 144 yards. He was a pound. And then they had Mr. Davis there, 9 rushes, another 62 yards. So they really got it to the point. We know they're deep. We know what their strength is, and getting to the quarterback. Let's eliminate that by running the football.
Yeah. What I do think you learned about the Bills is that even when Josh isn't having the best day, because I think that was a windy game, if I recall.
Yeah.
Like James Cook can come in there and produce. Ray Davis can come in there and produce. Josh Allen is still good with his legs.
Oh yeah, without question.
Now this is actually a little bit different from the norm because Josh usually has to do it all.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, he has to throw the cape on to save them a many a day. This was not that situation. They really relied on the running game. They really relied on Cook to run the football and really be dominant against the Steelers football team. The problem that you got to have is that when you got your quarterback getting to the podium, man, and getting in the rare form of throwing his people underneath the bus, man.
Aaron Rodgers throwing people underneath the bus?
Hey.
Never happened.
Hey, man.
What? Never happened.
Listen, you didn't hear that horn? And he got up there and said, hey, man, this is what it is. And that's in his realm now. He's not going to put the blame on himself. An abysmal day, 10-21, an abysmal day for him, 117 yards. But it ain't me. It's them. Yeah. You know who I am. I'm Aaron Rodgers. And the problem is they don't have a bevy of wide receivers that cause people to worry about who they are. No, they don't. No, they don't.
I said, hey.
No, hey. They said that guy was a problem. They said that guy was a nuisance. They said that guy was, he was to the point the reason why they were having such problems in the locker room. Yeah. And then you went and got DK Metcalf, said, hey, he can do it. And then hey, man, we know your ways is icy, dog.
Man. I had some hair sticking up.
Man, you weren't sticking up like alfalfa, man. we see you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, chat, go ahead and say, yeah, B, your waves are crispy, man. We see him, bro. But going back to what I said, but they don't have the receiving core that makes you be afraid of them. They got Darnell Washington, the tight end, who's a big piece of what they're trying to do. And I don't think
emphasis on big. Chris, Darnell Washington, he was on a podcast like 2 weeks ago,
right?
And he said that he weighs 271 pounds or something like that. No, my bad. It was 331. Hey, he's bigger than some D tackles,
than offensive linemen.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Hey man, listen, it's a difference between eating to stay healthy, eating to live. This joker just look like he living to eat, and he gonna eat himself out the league.
He said 311. He said 311.
That's a big man.
That man is a three tech. That man is a
three
tech.
Listen, I mean, when we look at George Kittle as being the guy he is and the size he has, we say, wow, that's a big guy. Man, hey, Mr. Washington, push away from the plate, brother. Have some foot control.
You already know, on Thursday, Chris, that didn't happen.
Hey, man. Well, it definitely showed. He wasn't very explosive offensively, and they don't have
sluggish.
Yeah, little that stuff and start wearing that brother down. But the Steelers are in trouble, and that doesn't bode well for one of the more tenured coaches in the league. He's right. He's at old Mike Fisher land right now. Oh, fitty.
All right, so Chris, I'm gonna ask you
Jeff Fisher, not Mike.
I have this conversation. I know a lot of Steelers fans. Do you gotta fire Mike Tomlin?
Do you have to fire him?
Yeah.
They got 5 more games. Mm-hmm. The goal is he can't be at 50-50. Mm-hmm. He can't just be happy with being not get to that 9-7 point. He gotta get double digit wins. But it's gonna be hard right now, man, because like you said, they don't have the offensive firepower that makes you feel like, can they win 4 more games? Mm-hmm. That's what you're worried about. And now that Aaron is frustrated, he's going to start showing it in his play. Mm-hmm. So hats off to him. But I personally, you can.
Chris, the last time they won a playoff game was in the 2016 season.
Dude, listen. They
ain't won a playoff game in going on a decade.
Damn. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have to revisit that. This is gonna start to be one on our segments on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. What can they do with Mike Tomlin? Because this is getting kind of crazy.
Yeah.
10 years and not having a playoff win?
Almost.
I mean,
January 2017 was the last time they won a playoff game. That was the 2016 season.
That's a well, yeah,
2016 season.
Yeah, okay. Well, man,
they obviously not winning one this year. Not with that team that they built. So if they don't win one in the 2026 season, Chris, that's
listen. Hey, being a great sound guy at the end of games, only goes so long. He's a great coach, man. Mm-hmm. And he puts himself on him that it's up to coaching to get these guys to do what they need to be able to do. Yeah. I'm just glad that the Pittsburgh wide receiver curse is over. It was always to the point of a receiver can't left Pittsburgh, they couldn't play anymore. We know that's not the case. So man, salute to the 757 native, Mike Tomlin, but things are looking shaky up in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on ahead, Chris. The Chargers whooped on the Raiders. And one of the things that had to be frustrating for Raiders fans, dude, you could tell on the sideline, Ashton Genty, he looked downright upset with his situation, man. He did.
Yeah.
Because he had a horrible day.
But I mean, he hasn't had a great season. And his offensive line doesn't help him.
Nope.
In that case.
Quarterback don't help him.
Quarterback doesn't help him. Mm-hmm. They just fired their OC, right? Bruh, I don't know what you do with the Raiders. I mean, 2-10. Mm-hmm. Gino, listen, before, they wrote him off, he didn't write back.
Yeah.
Hey, they ain't even write no more. They're just trying to get him up out of there, man.
Yeah, nope.
But you don't know how good he can be because, the offensive line is so porous.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just have to, man.
Sacked a ton, Chris. Sacked a ton.
Yeah, so
they brought him in by the truckload.
Dude, I mean, this was just a game where the Chargers didn't have to, they had an injured quarterback. The Golden Boy was hurt, and so it was just a bad outing for him all the way around, man.
Mm-hmm. See, Joe said that the Raiders are another talent-poor team. I actually disagree. In my opinion, the Raiders have one of the best 1-2 punches at tight end in the league with Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer.
They do. Yeah, but you don't. But
you should be a dog. He's a rookie though, so you know what I'm saying. But he has the pedigree of a dog. They revived Jamal Adams' career, having him play a linebacker. They got Max Crosby.
But bro, listen, you can have those great players on defense, but they are not intended to play, 65, 70 snaps with no help from the offense.
Yeah.
None. I mean, you had Kay Vidal. I don't even know where Kay Vidal came from. Where did he play college ball at?
Let me see.
Yeah, so you got to. Hey, if you got to click the button, that dude.
Vidal.
Yeah.
Where did he play? He played
at Troy.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, Kamani Vidal. And the thing about the Chargers is they've lost like 4 running backs to injuries this year. Omari Hampton, gone. Najee Harris, gone. They lost a whole bunch of other guys, man, and it's
So you got a team that wants to run the football, keep it out of the quarterback's hand. Justin Herbert was hurt. This was a recipe for them to get an opportunity to get a lick back, get a win, and move forward. And they weren't able to do it. So and it was like a thrashing though, bro. It was a thrashing. Yeah. I mean, 5 sacks, give it on Geno, under pressure all day.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of questions to answer, a lot of holes to fill, and you're gonna try to see how you can keep this team together and not let it implode on you, and get old Pete Carroll fired.
Yeah, it's rough. Like, man, just looking at the Raiders depth chart, dude, they got dudes, man. Jeremy Chin still there, Devin White there. Like they got a lot of dudes, man, and so it always is surprising to me how they look like and they continue to be the team where players go to die.
Hey,
the Raiders have been that for a while.
It's a lot going on, man, and
I hate to interrupt. It's hard to blame that on Mark Davis because the WNBA team that he owns, look at them. So it's hard to blame that on ownership. Ownership has another team that is hooping.
I mean, but that's a totally different sport.
So?
But hold on, totally different sport. Mm-hmm. They got one of the best players there. They're able to center their team around it, and they going from that. The question is, you went and got a rookie running back, but you didn't put the requisite pieces around him for him to be successful, and that's the biggest part of the offense. Adequate offensive line. Their offensive line is terrible, bro.
Awful.
They're god awful. So a lot of holes to fill, and you just want to help. Keep Genty, engaged, and maybe line this up next year. But it's not gonna get much better going into these last 5 games of the season.
Yeah, I definitely don't see that. They draft bound. So yeah, hopefully they do try to target some offensive line because I don't think that they've taken an offensive lineman early in some time.
They want to do something.
Yeah. Moving on to the last 4:00 game. No, actually, this was the night game where the Broncos they escaped with a W from the Commanders.
Listen, man, this is the luckiest football team on God's creation, man. You can't go this long with so many one-score wins, man.
Yeah.
And for them to play the depleted Commanders the way they were, and not come out with a win, just gut wrenching to me. I got a friend of mine who is a avid Cowboy fan, and I'm tired of him hollering, "It's bow time." But he gonna keep saying it as long as they keep winning, man. They're 10-2, man. That defense is rugged. They can cover. They suffocate teams, and Bo isn't doing anything crazy to lose the game. 29 of 45, 321 yards. You know, a tud and an interception. I mean, they don't. I mean, dude, the last time this running game looked amazing. You know who they played?
The Broncos running game or Washington?
Yeah, the Broncos.
Oh, against us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Come on now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but I mean, they're getting contributions from all over, man.
Yeah, that defense is a saving grace, Chris. You touched on it, but man, like they were a team where anybody would have been lucky to trade for one of their guys before the season started. Anybody, man. Nick Bonito, you know, a great player. Malcolm Roach is like the third or fourth guy in this position group.
Dude,
having a great season.
That secondary suffocates people out. Patrick Surtain came back, and they're resilient, man. Yep. You know, when they don't have a number one guy that you got to really work on, you know, kind of try to shut out in the offense. Bo's gonna get. He made Evan Ingram, man. Remember when Evan Ingram was like this prototypical? Oh, you got to go get this guy as a tight end kind of guy.
That was one of the years where like the most tight ends were drafted in the first.
Absolutely, dude. He had a great game. 6 catches, 79 yards. You know, Cortland Sutton is being Mr. Steady, and they're just going to be a tough out, man. They're going to be a tough out because Bo's not going to do anything to hurt them, and that defense is going to be there to come to play every week. Got away with another one, 27-26, 10-2. Just hoping that their luck runs out when they get to the playoffs.
Yeah. Because for most of the season, the weakness of that team, the quote unquote weakness, has been Bo Nix. For a lot of the year, Bo Nix would have one like average half of the ball game, and then like turn it up for the other half.
What did the comment just said about the Broncos? It was a comment.
The Broncos game is one of the games I thought Shotty got out coached, and I agree.
Oh yeah, without question. I think he got out coached. But see, my thing is that Shotty didn't get out coached because guys just weren't making tackles. The defense looked absolutely horrible that day.
Yeah,
you know,
offense couldn't get right either.
Couldn't get right. So you know, but it was to the point the offense was pressing. So I don't think you can be a team that's got to press and worry about your offense playing against the Broncos because the Broncos aren't going to do anything to really hurt themselves. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Their defense does above and beyond their job to make sure that the offense doesn't have to put the game on their back.
Yeah, didn't have to put the game on their backs. So,
but Chris, when you talk about Washington, on the other hand, Chris, I'm sure that Washington fans, and I know a few of them, they feel like this year was lost opportunity. They went out and made moves in free agency and stuff. You know, made that trade for Deebo Samuel. You know, obviously have the second year Jaden Daniels. Krosky Meredith having a great rookie campaign. I'm not gonna call him Bill. His name is Jacory. I refuse to call that man Bill. So yeah, man, this year for Washington fans has to feel like wasted potential. Due in part to losing your starting quarterback for extended periods of time. That was one of the worries about Jaden Daniels coming out. He's a little skinny. You know what I'm saying?
Wiry.
He don't got the
wiry
life.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to talk about the T.I. word of the day. So yeah, I feel bad for Washington fans in that regard because they should have been the team that is a game and a half back from the Eagles right now. If you want to talk about expectation.
Listen, everybody had them being the team to beat in the NFC East. They were going to rival and challenge the Eagles. Well, that just didn't happen because of that unknown factor of injury. And I feel bad for them. I feel bad for Well, I don't feel bad for them. I feel bad for Jay Daniels and
Yeah.
things of that nature because he got hurt. But hey, man, very few teams have a backup quarterback that they can feel they can drop in and win 5 to 7 games to help them do certain things. And
you want to know what's crazy?
Go ahead.
If Marcus Mariota wasn't throwing the ball 50 times, he might have been able to be that guy. But you're going to put the ball in his hands 50 times and have him run 10 times as well?
Right. But they got rid of Brian Robinson. Like, hey, he wasn't that guy. They went and got, the undrafted or 7th round guy as a running back, thinking that would be struck gold with him. So, but they
remember they had Austin Eckler too. He just got hurt very early in the
season.
Week 2.
But what I'm saying is you keep Brian Robinson as the steady hammer, and then have the undrafted 7th round guy as the running back to be able to help balance that thing out. They don't have that now. So still going back to the drawing board and try to see how things will work out. But 3-9 is where they are at right now.
Yeah, definitely sucks. Definitely sucks, man. They still got to play, their division rivals, you know what I'm saying? They still got to play us one more time and stuff. So, yeah, man. Tough sledding for them.
Yeah.
Definitely tough sledding. Chris, we've been here an hour and 20 minutes. You got anything else to add?
Nah, man, we try to get it under an hour, but man, listen, man, we just talk about the whole entire league, man, and another good week. We can definitely say things are kind of shaking out a little bit. That playoff picture is kind of it's a little shaky for some teams. Some teams that are in the hunt are starting to peak at the right time. Some of those teams that we thought it kind of were going to run away with it, they're falling back to the pack, and that's why you got to go ahead and line them up and play them, man. So we got 5 more to go down this stretch. Starting to get the real football here. We're over in December. This is where teams make or break themselves, man. So looking forward to these last 5 games, man. Yo, want to thank y'all for coming and kicking with us, rocking with us. I know the game is already on, and people, and we'll be back. We'll definitely probably be back Wednesday. Oh gosh, it's just Monday. We'll definitely be back by Tuesday and Wednesday to kind of break down the Monday night game, but also get you guys prepared for the Thursday tilt. When the Cowboys again plays the Lions, man. So thank you always, man, for rocking with us, man. We've been seeing our viewership go up, man, and being with us on live. But we definitely want you to continue to, put comments in the comment box at the end of the shows, man. We'll definitely go back and look, and we will read the comments. If they're there, we're gonna read them. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, man. And let's get ready to get into this 5-game stretch to the end of the NFL season, man. Yo, man, I'm your dude. Set it off, Chris, man. Always hanging around. I'm that guy that's got that extra change, like when you're in line and you need some change, right?
Like you don't want to break an extra dollar.
You don't want to break that dollar. I got always keep a little jangle-lang in my pocket. Hey, man, I got that for you, man. I'm there for you. And my man B, man, is the best, man. Hype, man, best, guy to have in your corner, man. And, if he call you up, hey, man, we got to go handle some business. You know what I'm saying? Which car we taking, man? And we'll forever, man, be Frankly Football, man. So until next time,
peace.